Experiment Podcast with your boy G_Focus and Stef.net to my left.
Good.
It is our Friday. It is your Monday or Wednesday if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. Underneath in the links, we are a listener-supported and viewer-supported podcast. So please leave some donations.
Donations.
And that link will be provided in the description. So please, you'll see a link that says support the show. You can leave $5, $10, $15, or you can make whatever amount that you would like to leave, but it helps us support making the show, supporting the show, buying the equipment to keep the show going. And we want to just thank all of our new listeners because YouTube subscribership is going up.
Yep. Shout out to y'all for that.
Is going up. Getting a lot more comments, a lot more interaction. So we definitely appreciate y'all. And we appreciate all the people that are working, that are listening, driving in the car. All the listeners, all the viewers, we appreciate all y'all, man. All of y'all.
I had a friend say, she's like, man, your podcast got me to a drive to LA. I'm like, look at us.
Look, because y'all be complaining, talking about we be having like 6-hour podcasts. But look, it be getting you through the workday.
It's people that appreciate it, so we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, and plus we only drop every 2 weeks, so we feel like we got to give y'all some, you know what I mean, something to listen to. Plus, I be listening at work.
We got to catch up on, what's been happening. A lot of stuff be going on in between episodes, and we want to stay up to date.
Absolutely. And if you want to stay in touch with us, please, we invite y'all to be a part of the Reverb Nation, where y'all can talk about the podcast, and we also joke and have fun in there. We also do, mental health Mondays.
Yeah.
We do weekly wins where you can share things that, positive things throughout your week. So we got a nice knit community in there.
Yeah.
22,000 strong. So we appreciate y'all. But please, if you cannot donate to the podcast, the best way you guys can help us is by subscribing, liking, and helping out the algorithm.
And share that.
And sharing. Yes. So
what we got on the docket today?
Well, first let's because we ain't really talked about no new music that's dropped in a minute.
We have not.
So Friday dropped. I know you probably ain't listened to that yet.
I have not listened to that yet.
But it's amazing.
Remind people who Friday is, because every time somebody say that, I'd be like, who is that?
Look, the best way y'all remember who Friday is, he sung the hook on God Did on the DJ Khaled album, right? And we all like that. He made that song to me.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely.
So he got a nice, unique voice, you know what I mean? So, and he got an incredible story because that was like what really put him on, obviously.
Yeah.
Album is amazing.
I'm going to have to check that out.
SOS dropped. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I will.
The extended version?
SOS, I believe so. It's pretty long.
Oh, because I'm like, that album already dropped, so it must be extended.
I thought Control did.
No. Control was the first album. SOS the second album.
Yeah. So I think it's an extended. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think it's extended. I'm gonna check it out. And it's fall. So R&B should be, that's typically when people start listening a little bit more R&B. So I think that, you know what, and I think we may start curating some Reverb Experiment playlists.
Oh, that's my lane. We already have one Reverb Experiment playlist.
I think we should do it more on a regular basis.
And if you have not checked out that playlist, I'm going to link that in the description as well, because that playlist it's toxic R&B.
Yeah, I feel like a love language is sharing music.
Yes.
I feel like we should start doing that. I think that's a dope way to connect.
Take it back to making mixtapes.
Yeah, I used to do the CDs and then write my name on it. People used to always love my little mixes, man.
Come on.
But so she dropped. Shout out to SZA. She beautiful. There's one episode I want to go through because like a lot of people be like, I can't find no good music. There's some good music out there. Y'all just don't know them. So I want to go through maybe some sleeper picks or whatever. Okay. But obviously the talk of the town is Bongos.
Yeah.
Is Bongos. So I know you heard the record. I know you were listening when you came in. So what do you think about the record?
It's trash. I ain't gonna lie.
Stop.
It is trash.
I don't like that shit. For sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
I do not like it at all.
You don't like Meg's verse?
Oh, I felt like Meg's verse was cool. I felt like it was way better than Cardi's. Honestly, it's starting to get to the point where I feel like you could tell when Cardi wrote her verse and when she didn't. Because I'm like, sometimes like, oh, she ate that. And then sometimes like, what is this? Like, girl, you call your writers up. Because I barely made it to Meg's verse. Hers was so terrible.
Yeah.
As soon as she came in with the eat that ass like a plum, I'm like, okay, so this is WAP 2. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I was just, I won't say I was expecting something different, but y'all already did this song already, and this is not a good version of it.
Yeah.
WAP actually was a bop. The beat hit.
Yeah.
The beat don't hit on this, and the hook don't hit. Nothing is hitting.
I gotta listen to it. I got like a routine when I listen to songs. I listen to it on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to it on my Sonos system, because you've heard of Sonos. And then I go in a car. I gotta listen to it on all three before I can say whether it's a slap or not.
I listened to it in the car.
And it didn't?
No.
That's the test. If it don't slap in the car, then I can't help you.
If it don't, and I ain't got like no system or nothing, but come on now.
But it gotta have some type of bait. I will say this. I don't like this song, but when I heard they was on the song together, I anticipated WAP 2, so I'm not so disappointed.
Really? I did.
I anticipated it. Because what else are they gonna rap about?
Together, yeah, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you expected that. And it's a commercial song. It's gonna be played in commercials. It's gonna be there's gonna be a TikTok challenge, a Bongos challenge, or a walk it out challenge, something where people walking and shaking it. Like it's so predictable now that I'm not surprised by it. I'm not surprised by Cardi's verse. Cardi's not the best rapper. Meg is not the best rapper. Meg did. I feel like Meg had the better verse for sure.
I feel like she's cool.
No. What I'm just meaning, like, I'm not expecting like spectacular rapping when Meg's on the track.
I think
I'm expecting her to make a good song, because she does make good songs.
She do. She makes good songs. I think I was expecting, like, we haven't had nothing from Meg, so I think people were more anticipating Meg's return since the trial and all of that, and more so than Cardi, and it just it didn't hit. So it was like, dang, I feel like my sis deserved better than that. But like you said, it's
not her
feature.
song.
Yeah.
And what I heard from the making of it was the song was already made, and Cardi wanted a feature on it after it was made. So it wasn't like she made it with her in mind. It was like a second thought adding her on. So I feel like this could, like, hopefully, maybe Meg has music on the way, and this is kind of like the introduction to whatever it is she's going to roll out.
I want to hear something from her, because that wasn't it.
No.
It wasn't.
Well, and typically in the past, fourth quarter is when most of the big artists drop, right? Because right around Christmas and all that other stuff. But now with streaming, it's not the same because you're not buying a physical disc. So, but I know Drake was supposed to drop a couple weeks ago. So I'm assuming Drake is dropping.
Nicki's supposed to be dropping.
Nicki's dropping. Wayne seems like he's putting out more music. And I would assume Meg would probably be dropping either fourth quarter or first quarter next year, if she's doing music. A lot of times, that they make more money not doing music than they do doing music. So
yeah, you see, Cardi ain't put out nothing. When did that first album come out?
I don't even remember.
That like 2017.
I don't remember when.
It's hella old. I'm like, girl,
but she don't have to. She can just keep putting out singles if that's what she wants to do. She don't need to. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can get to a level where you can just keep putting out singles. And I think that's what a lot of these artists are going to just start doing. Like, what's the point of putting forth the album? You can keep doing singles. You can keep doing these McDonald meals and Popeye meals and touring.
But she putting the singles out so that she can still tour. Because I think it was like she was headlining some, and I'm like, she ain't had an album in like 3 years. How was you headlining?
See, but that's Vince Staples actually said something about that. He said your guys' sets are trash.
Yeah.
He said, but your sets are trash because you don't have a catalog, and you're not putting the artistry into it, which I agree.
Absolutely.
Because it's like most of these new acts, what kind of set are you going to put together?
Maybe
like Usher can't. Like, that's why Usher's show is so good, because he has a catalog. And he puts forth effort and thinks about and is intentional about his performances.
You ain't got to tell me twice. I just came from Beyonce, baby.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about Beyonce.
When I tell you that Beyonce show was amazing, like from the beginning to the end. But again, like you said, when you got catalog,
got a catalog,
baby, you could go. I want to say she started at like 9 o'clock. We didn't get out of there till like 11 something.
What was she on time?
Well, the way she does her show, she don't have no opener. The doors open at 7, but she don't come out till after the sun goes down because it's like the outdoor arena. Mm-hmm. So I don't know technically what time. Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to actually start, but
it sounded like she was on time. When I say on time, you know what I mean. Some artists, they be having you waiting like 5-6 hours. For
Yeah. But it was the transitions from song to song, like. Mm-hmm. You got, she even did a little bit of Destiny's Child. Like, she's going to give you everything. And the rumor is, I guess there may be a... They said the Destiny's Child website is pending to be updated. I'm like, if you think I was going crazy for the Beyonce tickets, Destiny's Child?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm there.
I think we kind of said that, like, maybe not last year. I think it's 2-3 years ago that there should be some type of Destiny's Child, like, with all these groups and stuff coming back. It should be. Just one last tour.
Got to. That tour will sell out. You think the Scream tour sold out?
Sure.
When that Scream tour came back, that's how I feel like. Because again, our generation is big on like
all nostalgia,
mm-hmm. And that's why you see all the reboots and the reunion tours still doing numbers. You got a SWV, Escape, all them doing numbers.
No, but that would get numbers because it's almost like a last hurrah. Mm-hmm. Like, this is your last chance to see them perform together, and if you don't get the tickets, then you out. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that.
Because they're not gonna do it multiple times.
No. It'll be a one shot and done, and then
that's how I felt about Scream Tour. I went to that first one because I was going there for B2K, and if you know, we all see how it played out. But I was like, they're not gonna last long. They're gonna do this one tour and it's gonna fall off.
Yeah, old boy is wilding. They all wilding. But Beyonce comes from the school that an artist is an artist. Mm-hmm. She's very much is in the same vein of the Michael Jacksons and all that, where she takes pride in what she does. Absolutely. And everything got to be perfect. So yeah, the days of those artists are dying quickly.
Because how can you put on a show like how with the visuals and the amount of money and time that Beyonce put into that tour if you only got one album of songs that's only 2 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, and you can, but it's just even those artists, if you are only putting out 2-minute songs, my question would be, do you care about your art enough to put together a set like that?
Nope.
Because my thing of it is no, you putting bare minimum out to me. And yeah, so if you have a chance, and we're gonna transition, but if you got a chance to go see Busta Rhymes, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Nas, Lupe, these artists that take care and that, ushers,
I'll even throw Drake in there because I've been to his
Drake.
Couple
No,
of his
I've seen his sets that he's very very much intentional about his set. If you have a chance to go see them artists, you need to go see them now because you may not get a chance to see artists like that ever again.
Yeah.
As far as hip hop goes, jazz and other genres, that's a totally different thing. You got people that are performing well into their 80s, like Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like they still, I know, there's a few members that died. They still are performing. It ain't funny, but what I'm saying is, but they're still performing well into their 80s.
Yeah.
Hip hop, I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah, because even Smokey Robinson he 80, still was on tour, still shaking and gyrating like. Yeah, I feel it.
And and it's crazy is that you're seeing that with hip hop now. Like, I think Busta Rhymes, he has to be in his 50s.
Mm-hmm. That was just out here, 50 Cent and Busta.
Yeah, and he's still, I mean, that's one of the better hip hop shows to go see is Busta Rhymes. He definitely is a live performer where like other artists have learned from him. But yeah, if you got a chance to go see it now because you may not get more opportunities than that. So, who we talking about?
Internet wins again.
Hold on.
Man.
Internet wins again. Oh, that's right. We talking about Tyrese. All right. This is a very touchy subject.
Yeah.
So when we are talking about this subject, we are trying to use as much tact and class as possible, but we're gonna have to keep it real as well. So I'm gonna kind of give a preface to this so that way people have a little bit of background. Okay. So Tyrese was on the Breakfast Club. He is on what he calls an apology tour, apologizing to all the people that he may have disrespected or said wrong things to. So it has now been known or made public that he has been on psych meds. And he's saying that is the cause for some of the breakdowns, some of the viral moments, like the "what more do you want from me" moment. I'm assuming the public fight he had with The Rock about the Fast and Furious, things of that nature that he said that he was not himself. So while on the Breakfast Club, it was made public as well that I guess Envy and Tyrese had some beef. So I guess Tyrese was very instrumental in Envy saving his marriage. And I guess somewhere in that, Tyrese may have crossed the line and said something disrespectful to Envy's wife. So, like usual, like Envy fashion, he addressed it on the Breakfast Club. So we're going to listen to the clip. And this conversation is about mental health. And the question we're going to ask after this is, what was the question we were going to ask? It was,
are you a bad friend for cutting someone off that's struggling with mental health?
Perfect. There we go. So that's the preface this clip. All right.
And we had this conversation already.
Guys.
But he literally said, I don't remember any of that.
I don't remember what I said that made you say that or made you feel that way.
But to this point, I took a step back because I didn't know what you were going through. And I tried to talk to you, and I seen who you were. And I didn't even like who you were online. And to my point, I tried. And when I seen how you were talking this way, I said, I'm going to take a step back.
And you know, when me and Tyrese had a conversation.
How convenient? Yeah, how convenient. Yeah, when the way you were talking, the way that you were.
How convenient to step back.
What you mean?
I never stepped back from you.
From you.
It's right.
You should have
But I never
up.
talked to your wife in a disrespectful manner. And you talked to mine in a disrespectful manner. How? And I never told nobody that. Even when you were on, and you could say you were on those psych meds, and you could say that you weren't.
What you mean?
But as a man, some of the things that you said, Tyrese, deserved me to box your mouth.
No,
we were talking because this is something that I never wanted to say. And since he wants to be, well, why Envy? I'm telling him why. You said disrespectful shit to my wife.
What do you say?
It's neither here nor there. To the point where my wife doesn't call you back anymore. And to the point when you started talking to psych meds, me and my wife had a conversation and said, well, maybe Tyrese was on those medicines when he said it. But if you ever text me and my wife, you can't text me because I just unblocked you probably about a month ago when me and Charlamagne was talking, and he told me that you were on the psych meds, and this is what it was.
This is longer than a month ago.
Yeah, that's what made me unblock you. So that was the reason why I stopped talking to you and will not reach out to you anymore, because I'm like, I don't want to remember my brother as that. And maybe you were going through problems. So if somebody if I talk to your wife, disrespectful, I don't expect for you to come check on me. Okay. And that's how I felt at that time.
Okay. You did that to a lot of people, though, Ty.
But maybe y'all should have had this conversation.
No. Listen.
This is great. We're having it when God wants us to have it.
That's it. And I'm going to say this, because this is not the first time I've said this. The things that I said and did, the people that I rubbed the wrong way, the things that I posted, my conduct overall that was literally out of my control. I've literally prayed that people can find it in their heart to not hold me to something that I said and did.
Oh. That's deep.
Gotta stop it.
I don't like that shit.
For sure, bro.
I don't like that shit.
That's deep. That's deep, especially with all the conversation and the support we've had around mental health. That just ain't lining up with it to me.
I'll listen to that clip, and me listening to that clip again just rubs me the wrong way.
Same.
God, it rubs me the wrong way.
Why?
Envy's a sucker. I don't care. That rubs me the wrong way. That really does. That really, 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 really does. There's a Bible verse that says that friends are born in the times of adversity. I don't know how you can call somebody a friend when you saying stuff like that, man.
Yeah, like you and you standing on it. I cut you off and I stepped back. And even like kind of like when he was like, maybe you was going through something. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's
like
doubt.
you questioning it.
Right. And that's what he was saying. Maybe I was like, it was down. I didn't even, the first time I listened to it when he said I stepped back, and when Tyrese said how convenient for you to step back, and Just Hilarious said you should have stepped up, I'm like, I mean, she ain't wrong.
Facts.
She ain't wrong.
Facts.
And I kind of, I empathize with Tyrese, because I mean, I know that I've had times where, not necessarily as far as being on medication and being like out of control, but I definitely a lot of times, like with my anxiety, it'll make me lash out. And sometimes I don't see it in that moment, but I could tell like I was, that's just, I'm going through whatever. I always apologize, because regardless of what I'm going through with my mental health, I still owe people an apology for my behavior. Like, it doesn't give me an excuse for my behavior. For sure. So again, like you said, he's on his apology tour. You still have to mend those relationships that are broken in your time of brokenness. Facts. You know what I mean? That's very important. So I commend him for doing that. But then you're faced with people who even question, like, or doubt that you're telling the truth. That's one of the big things with mental health, is that people don't believe.
I'm trying to like formulate my words on what to say. All right, let me try to streamline this. First and foremost, I applaud Tyrese for apologizing. I feel like that conversation should have been made private, but for all intents and purposes, it was made public, so it's fine. I have a real big problem with people having issues and not addressing the issue. Like, Envy, if you had an issue with it, I think he said that he tried to, and I don't know. I can't justify or I can't quantify how he tried to, but obviously it wasn't resolved, and obviously it wasn't resolved before Tyrese got up there. You had to have some type of conversation before he got up there. So I just feel like on Tyrese's part, let me just start with Tyrese. I feel like I applaud him for apologizing. You have to take accountability, whether you were in your right mind or whether you weren't. You have to take accountability. So I appreciate him taking accountability. On Envy's part, I understand how he feels, because anybody that would disrespect my spouse, I would feel some kind of way, right? I would feel some kind of way about that. But I feel like we are so individualistic that we lack empathy and compassion when it comes to situations like this, especially when you say you're his friend. I feel like taking a step back is convenient. And I felt what Tyrese was saying. How convenient that you are in a relationship and you're supposed to be my friend, and you have the room, or you have the luxury of being able to step back. Now, at the same time, I know we're in the age of protect your peace at all costs. But this is where I feel like Envy's a hypocrite. This is where I feel like he's a hypocrite. So it was all good when Tyrese was helping you save your marriage. But the minute that he says something you don't like, whether it'll be disrespectful or not, we don't know, because he didn't even get a chance. He didn't even tell us what was even said.
Yeah, he said that's not
neither here and there. No, but you were standing on it, so stand on it. So if it was disrespectful, let us know what it was said that was disrespectful. It was all good when Tyrese was helping you save your marriage, but as soon as you did something that he did not like, now all of a sudden I'm taking a step back and I'm blocking you. And my wife's not going to message you anymore because you said something disrespectful to her. So in your marriage, you wanted all this grace and you wanted this forgiveness for you cheating on her, and you disrespected her. It's okay for you to get forgiveness. But your friend does not deserve that same forgiveness because of something that he did not like, when he's the one that helped you save your marriage. It just seemed like it was convenient when you needed him, but then when things started getting rough, then all of a sudden it's, I'm taking a step back because you are jeopardizing my peace. Okay, Envy, what if your wife said, I'm going to take a step back because you jeopardizing my peace? It's okay for you to disrespect your wife, for you to make her look like a fool, for you to be stepping out with some other woman while she is committed to your marriage. But when another man disrespects your wife, then it's okay. You open the door for people to disrespect your wife.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he opened the door for Tyrese, but you allowed Tyrese in your marriage because you needed help with fixing your marriage because of what you didn't do. Or because of what you did do.
So he had more access than he probably should have.
Because of your actions.
Yeah.
You messed up. You invited him in to help fix it. But now you mad because he got too much access.
Mm-hmm. He either had enough access or information or whatever to... I don't know what was said or whatever, but
we don't know because he didn't say
I'm
that.
just, speculating. But
if you wasn't cheating, Tyrese wouldn't have had to help. Tyrese would not have had to save your marriage if you wasn't cheating.
Sometimes that access gives people. It's like how you always say, like, nobody could disrespect your spouse unless you give them that access.
Unless
you know what I mean? So it's like in this situation, you gave the access because you needed help.
Yes.
And a lot of times people give access because they need somebody to vent to. So then now you giving it, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But in this situation, it wasn't even that. It was somebody coming in to actually help you
save
what
your
you messed
marriage.
Up. Yeah, save what you messed up.
Yes.
So I feel like I agree with you, but I've been in a position to have to take a step back. But for me, a step back never means blocking or, you know what I mean? Like, I'm available, but sometimes you do have to put some boundaries in place. And sometimes, again, because you can't pour from an empty cup. We all know that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But your step, you talking about a step back. You didn't take a step back. You cut them off.
Yeah.
That's not a step back to me.
I don't like, and to me, we always talk about adults communication. So you took a step back by blocking them and didn't tell them?
Yeah,
I'm not
a fan of that.
As a man, as a man, if I'm friends with my boy and it got to the point where, like, look, we can't rock no more, there's a conversation. Like, look, I can't rock with you.
If you said something disrespectful, there's going to be a conversation.
There's going to be a conversation. And it's going to be, look, I'm addressing this because this is causing issues in my marriage. You've disrespected my wife. So because of that, if you are not able to show respect for my wife, I, from this point forward, am going to have to cut you off. And you leave it at that. But to me, as a human being, especially if you had an understanding that he could be on psych meds where he could not maybe be in his right frame of mind, even if that's not the case, I feel like you should always leave the room for reconciliation. If the person if they are remorseful, if they are apologetic, and if their behavior has shown that they are remorseful. Because a lot of people be apologizing, but the action don't line up.
Don't add up.
No. The best apology is change behavior.
Absolutely.
So it seemed like to me that Tyrese was remorseful. Just from what I can see. I don't know what his personal life looks like, but I just think it's hypocritical. And I just think if you call yourself a friend, again, friends are born in the times of adversity. He may have needed you to be there for him. So in his time of need, you wasn't there for him. But in your time of need, Tyrese was there for you. And to me, there's a lot of one-sided friendships that end up like that. That when I need something, that, I need you to be there for me. But when you need something, hey, look, man, it's not convenient for me, or I'm gonna cut you off because you ain't doing what and it's like, I think we can all look back on that and look and see that Tyrese, there was something going on with Tyrese. Like, we all knew there was something, like, man, there's something going on because he was doing some outlining stuff. So I think it's disingenuous, especially for him, because on the Breakfast Club, they have plenty of conversations about mental health. Plenty of conversations about mental health. So for you to be an advocate for mental health, but then in your own personal life, you're not compassionate for somebody that is going through mental health problems, I think it's hypocritical.
You're not an advocate. It's easy to talk about it. Trust me, it's so easy to have these it's so much easier to have these conversations than to actually support somebody in the actual time, because it's not pretty.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. You're gonna have times where you're offended. You're gonna have times where you feel disrespected, helpless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I feel like there's nothing I can do. So it's different when you're dealing with it. And I feel like a lot of people haven't. They just talk about it. And then when it's time, they kind of shy away, like, ooh, she posting some crazy stuff. Or it's not what people think it's going to be when it's time to step up and be there for somebody.
No, and we got to stop having these surface level mental health conversations, because just look up the symptoms of a personality disorder. Just look up the symptoms of when somebody is having like a manic episode, like a manic depressive episode. It is not in real time. It is not pretty. 'Cause I've seen it. You know, there's close people to me that I've seen it, and even researching some of the medications. Like some of the medications literally have an FDA warning that will say can increase impulsivity, compulsivity, things of that nature, to the point where people feel like they are not themselves. So we want to have these conversations about, oh, go to therapy. Oh, go get your medication figured out. Oh, go do this, go do that. But then we don't have the conversations about the backlash or the fallout when sometimes the medication ain't right. And sometimes...
And it takes time. And this is what people don't realize. When people say go get help, they think it's like a quick boom. You went to a therapist. No, first of all, they tell you you're going to have to be on the medication for 3 months for you even start to get it in your system enough to even start seeing the difference. And then after that 3 months, if it ain't working for you,
you have to adjust it.
Then you have to adjust it, or you have to start something over there. There's more time for that. So it's like you can be a long time before you really even start to
have a grasp.
Yeah. So it's like people are thinking like, oh, you ain't trying to help yourself. Like it's not like 1 month and you.
No, it ain't no one therapy session. Everything figured out.
Everything is fixed.
There's
so it's
therapists,
a journey.
there's psychologists, there's different people that do different things.
The
and like
therapist
you said,
don't prescribe the medication. The psychologist does.
Correct.
So it's like you have to. It's so many different layers to it.
Yeah.
And it's not as easy as people and pretty as easy as going to get your nails done.
No.
And now all of a sudden my mental health is back.
And then what if you don't have proper insurance? We didn't talk about that. What if you don't have the money? And then there's adverse reactions if you stop taking the medication, because then it's leaving your system. And I just think people got to do more education and talk to have this more. And I'm glad they had this conversation, because now we're having this conversation. But please don't just group everything into one, just go to therapy and then it's all fixed. No, it's not.
It's different types of therapy too that people don't, understand.
DBT, CBT, and
it's so many different, and you have to find what works for you. You have to find a therapist that works for you. It's treatment that works for you. It's just a lot more to it, and people can get discouraged when shit ain't working for them.
Yeah. Or it could even be it could be something that is very circumstantial. So for instance, if you're in college and let's say you take a semester off and you go see a therapist, okay, cool. You may be able to get a grasp on what's going on during that time because you're not in school. But the minute you go back to school, now you add all these stressors to that situation where what you had as a regimen before may not necessarily work now, because now you're having to handle all the stress that's coming along. And it's a much deeper conversation to what we have made it out to be, and it's almost like a badge of honor. Like people are like, "Oh yeah, mental health," and it's like, but you're not even I think it's disrespectful to the people that are really dealing with it, because some of the times it's it's a misrepresentation, kind of akin to people will say when they say I have two personalities. Oh, I'm bipolar. I'm like, no. Yeah. Please stop doing that.
Yeah.
Please stop doing that, because that's not even what bipolar even is. No, you have a personality disorder. Let's say that. But if you one person and one man and next other, that doesn't mean necessarily it's a mental health problem. It could just mean that you just have a dual personality. We got to just stop with the self-diagnosing.
I do. I ain't gonna lie. I've done that. 'Cause I'm but honestly, it's out of actual research though. I've seen a lot of different things about ADHD, and I'm I think I got that.
I think that's different.
You know what I'm saying? I'm so I just be saying, different. I haven't gone to a professional, but I'm pretty sure I got that. So I be saying, I will indicate though that I'm self-diagnosed.
No, that's different. I'm talking about people that be when they do something and they be oh, don't worry about me. I'm a Virgo and I'm bipolar. And I'm what? What does that got to do with your behavior? And did a doctor tell you that you were that?
You know what? That's one thing though that we got to get out of that whole blaming stuff on the zodiac sign. We too old for that shit. We really is a little bit too old for that. Come on now.
I'm a fire sign, so I'll be mad. What? Dog, come on, man. Y'all got to stop with that.
We too old. I mean, unless you really believe in all of that. I just, honestly, it's just fun to me. But I'm like, come on now, y'all tripping.
No.
It do be feeling like Mercury being micro braids, whatever they be saying.
Micro braids.
They got me believing that shit.
Micro braids. Oh my God. Isn't it retrograde? Micro braids. That's hilarious.
They be having me convinced. But yeah, no, we gotta get out of that. I think we're starting to get out of that as people are becoming more educated and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I think people need a little bit more realistic how to actually support somebody. And you can Google it.
Yes.
You can literally Google it. Like,
yes, there's plenty of articles on how to help somebody through their diagnosis and whatever they're going through, or just how to support them. But and don't, like, half the time when people are going through it, they don't know what they're going through. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure Tyrese did not know that that's what he was going through at the time that he was going through it. Like, he even said, I guess the video where he was what more do you want from me? He said he didn't even know that he even recorded that. Mm-mm. And he said that was the most embarrassing, like, in that interview, he said that's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to him. And he did not even know he uploaded it and recorded it until it became a meme.
Mm. And you know that was our sound, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I put that in the soundboard. See, but now I feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that we just got to have a little bit more sensitivity when it comes to mental health, for sure. And but on the flip side of that, I want to ask this question: do you feel like Tyrese is using that as an excuse to excuse his behavior?
Honestly, to me, in those situations, time will tell. In a way, you know what I mean? Like, you have to.
Well, see, that's kind of hard though, because how do you know he has a handle on his mental health now?
Well, I don't know. Again, that's the biggest thing with mental health, is because people be like, oh, everybody claiming they got mental health issues now. Everybody claiming they got anxiety. Everybody, and I'm like, do I believe some of that could be happening? Absolutely. I mean, let's just be all the way honest. It happens with anything. But I also think it is also more people having more information and understanding what they've been going through. Now they're like, oh, that's what it is. Like I said, with seeing and all this stuff about ADHD, I'm like, a lot of stuff is clicking and making sense. So it's not just people claiming it. It's just you actually being able to name it.
Right.
In a lot of instances. So I don't know. I have empathy towards it, so I'm always going to believe somebody. I'm always going to err to the side of believing somebody.
For sure.
And if you say you genuine, then I'm going to believe you. I think we live in a day and age where we're always trying to catch somebody in a lie, or try to look for receipts and this and that, and this don't line up, and you said this before, but now you said this, and you like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not with all that. I thought it was
I thought it was nasty. And I know Envy is super sensitive to protecting his wife, but the only reason why you're super sensitive to protecting your wife is because you the one that hurt her. That's what I don't get. Like, you projecting like this superhero complex on other people because of what you did. Like, it ain't nobody else did it but you. So the one person that you need to be protecting from your wife is you. Like, I don't get it. Like, now it says, oh, I'm gonna protect her honor. Like the same thing he did with the whole gunplay thing. Like, it's just like, you did it. You made this public. You the one that was doing the dirt. So why are you trying to protect her from other people when it was you?
I mean, it's not that you
opened the door.
I mean, at the end of the day,
it's
still your wife.
The door.
But he still has to protect his wife, though, regardless of if he's been the one disrespecting or not. You still have to protect your wife
by blocking him.
Well, I didn't say that's how you. I'm just saying he still has you can't say like, oh well, now anybody say something disrespectful to your wife, you can't say nothing because you disrespect her. No,
absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. I just think there was a better way to handle that.
Absolutely, I will agree to that.
As a man, there was a better way to handle that, and at least you owed him a conversation.
Yeah, if that's your friend.
Well, I think friend is used very loosely these days,
and especially in the industry friends and real friends. Like, I don't know if you could really I'll be side-eyeing some of these friendships and if they actually genuine.
He just, I don't know, it seemed like he was just in his feelings. I don't know. Which, and I mean, and I don't want to make it seem like men can't be emotional, but it's
That's
just
what
like,
it seemed like. Because even on the person who shared that video, he always in his feelings. But on the flip side, everybody says that men should be able to feel this and that, but I feel like it's policed so harshly a lot of times by other men.
I don't think it's police. I just think as a man, again, I just felt like the way he went about it was kind of cowardly. If you felt some kind of way, how is blocking going to resolve the issue?
Well,
maybe that's his way of resolving it. I don't know.
But that's better said than he in his feelings. Just say that he could have handled it better.
Well, but I think so. Okay, so
when somebody says in his feelings, I feel like you're kind of saying that he shouldn't have felt like
no.
You know what I mean? That's how it comes off.
And if I'm communicating that, then that's not what I mean. I apologize.
Not you, just in general.
No, I know.
Say that
I know,
about
but while I'm on this podcast, I want to make sure that that's not what I'm communicating. When I say somebody's in their feelings, what I mean by that is they're letting their emotions dictate their actions. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think you are entitled to your emotions, but I don't think your emotions should dictate how you move. Yeah. I think you should be able to sit with your emotions, figure out why I feel this way, figure out, okay, what is the best way to resolve this, and then move based on reason and logic, based on what makes sense. Because in the moment, he just felt like there was a lot of still resentment and anger which, I mean, he's entitled to that. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like with all of the other information, some of that should have been tamed a little bit. Like, dang, okay, like he was on some psych meds. Like maybe he didn't mean what he said, and let me get some clarification before I just unload on him. Because kind of what he made it seem like, oh well, yeah, like I heard you was on some psych meds, and like I stepped back, and then Tyrese said, it was convenient. He was like, yeah, so if you were going through something,
yeah,
he's told you he was going through something. So it's not an if, like, again, like how you were saying, it's kind of like you're kind of undermining his integrity by saying the way Envy phrased it, it almost made it seem like you said you were going through something, but I don't know if that's really true. Mm-hmm. And he was almost questioning, like, was it the psych meds or was it you? Mm-hmm. And it's like, but if that's my friend,
you know his character.
I would hope you would know his character before that, and not allow that one moment to be like his defining moment. And I think that's what Tyrese was saying, was that, in my apology, I hope that you do not hold this one moment to my character.
Yeah, I feel that.
So I don't know. But we talked about that too, as far as character. And that's why your friendships, your relationships, your whatever should be based on somebody's character. Because if you can't speak to his character as your friend, then what was your friendship based on?
Yeah, because my friends know me. So I would assume if I was acting out of character, they would be able to tell.
They would be able to tell.
And they'll be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Not necessarily automatically taking offense to the point of cutting you off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They would
unless I'm being harmful. At the end of the day, sometimes you do have to if somebody's being harmful.
Absolutely. But even in that moment, I think they would give you like, okay, you just had an off day. Mm-hmm. Because you don't normally act like that. But in this instance, it could be, like you said, industry friends. So maybe he don't know his character. I don't know. Bottom line is, for somebody that be advocating for mental health so hard, that seemed a little off to me.
Yeah, it wasn't giving what he thought it was about to give.
No, it was like, I know my wife is gonna listen to this later, so I better be in good standing.
I'm weak.
All right. What's the next segment?
Next up, we got to talk about Erica Mena and Spice.
Oh God.
And Erica Mena calling Spice a monkey. Child.
Can we talk about Erica Mena and like her want to look African tan? Did you see that?
I did see that.
Okay.
I sure did see that. Now that you brought it up, I saw that because she was looking very
dark, very ethnic,
very ethnic,
looking very urban,
very very much so. I ain't gonna lie, but on a recent episode of Love and Hip Hop, Erica Mena and Spice were discussing I guess Spice had an issue with Erica acting like she was like the first person to ever get divorced, and they was basically having a conversation, and Spice ended up bringing up Erica's child and saying your son don't even like you, and that's where the conversation went haywire.
Oh Lord! All right, let's go ahead and play the clip.
I've been doing it for nowhere. 16. Okay? 16. Okay, with 16, your son that don't like you. My son loves me. How do you know so let's talk about that. Stop always making it about you. That's what I'm talking. You said I know a lot, right? That's what you said. Started the conversation and said I know. You don't know about my I don't believe y'all just you.
Grace is officially disgrace in my book. This woman was given a second chance at life by God. And here she is choosing to use that second chance at life to come at me and my son. It just speaks volumes on who she is. Once you cross the line and speak on my kids, just know we will forever have beef.
Get off of me. Bitch, you should get off of me. I don't give a about that. You're jealous of me, bitch. You're trying to release. These bitches ain't just shaking tables, they flipping. What the is this? That bitch should have died. You want to mention my kid? You should have died, bitch. Y'all open the door. Let me out. Let me out. I'm gonna mash up in here. Let me out, bitch. Your son hates you! Your son hates you, bitch! You monkey! You blue monkey!
Eric, I cannot believe you. You just called this girl a monkey and then said she should have died. What type of is this? You have Jamaican children. Would you like to somebody to call your children monkeys? You should have did that, Erica. That was
I've been doing it for nowhere. Okay?
Was it Shekinah? Woo! Ain't she the one that was on the show with Tiny?
Yeah.
She hella funny.
Hilarious.
That was a lot.
Oh, man.
I think Shekinah really hit the nail on the head at the end. You have black children, and you out here calling somebody a monkey. That's alarming. That's very alarming to me. Like, ma'am.
Oh man, that commentary was on
insane.
point.
So my question, now that we've heard the clip, was Erica justified in her response, being that her children were mentioned?
Hell no.
And do you believe that it was her comments were rooted in colorism / anti-blackness?
Hell yes.
Or do you think it was just shade?
No. It's colorism, anti-blackness, and no, she is not justified in what she said. I know there's the mama bear. If you talk about my kids, anything goes. But it wasn't even. I'm trying to just even remember what was said.
She said your son hates you.
Your son don't like you.
And then she said your son hates you.
Okay. No, it's not justified. Sorry. Y'all can, and again, if y'all want to kill me in the comments about it, I don't give a damn. No, it's not justified. No. We don't get to. We have this like notion that any insult opens a door for all insults. No. And as a grown adult, we got to like the tit for tat, eye for an eye. You ain't got to do that. Obviously, this is Love and Hip Hop. Obviously, it's the brand is ratchetness. Obviously, that's what is selling. That's what's sold. That's what the producers tell them to do. Mm-hmm. But the monkey comments, the blue monkey, you're on a show with other black women. Mm-hmm. You know that the monkey comments is very much deep rooted in racism, colorism, anti-blackness.
Absolutely.
You just had a child with a black man. You have black biracial children, however you want to classify them. They have black blood in them. So my question would be, is if your children saw this clip, what would they think? Because they may have dark skin like she does. Not Erica, but the other chick. What's her name? Spice. They may have dark skin like Spice. They may have dark skin like Safari.
I mean, because Safari is Jamaican.
Yes.
And so is Spice. So what old girl said in the clip, I think is spot on. You are almost like you're dissing a black woman when you are, however, going to have children that may have the same features of the black woman that you're dissing. So when I say it's out of pocket, I'm more even saying that it's out of pocket for her own children. So you're saying, oh, if you talk about my son, but in an indirect way, you're talking about your own kids. Could be talking about your own kids. So, I don't think they're justified. I don't care what nobody's saying. Now, do I think that she should have been kicked off the show? No. I think it's on brand. That's what you promote. You promote ratchetness. Now, don't try to get holy now. And don't try to get righteous now. Or, oh, no, this is where we draw the line. Yeah.
Nah.
Honestly, even with that, like, with them firing her and putting out the statement or whatever, like, it's even in their statement, I wasn't feeling it because they said working hand in hand with our partners, viewers, will see the impact of Erica Mena's remarks play out in the final 3 episodes of the season. It's giving promo.
It is promo.
Even in the statement about y'all firing her in her statements, because of her statements, like it was giving promo.
And she'll be back.
Absolutely.
She'll be back.
It's just
it's the putting somebody on ice until things cool down, and then she'll be back.
And getting people to tune in and see what's going to happen for the rest of the last 3 episodes. I definitely feel like her comments were rooted in, like you said, racism and anti-blackness. I think that her and a lot of other people feel like once you mention my kids, is no holds bar. If that whole statement of, if you go low, I'm going to hell and all of that. But at the end of the day, I don't know.
You're a mother.
I don't know. I just feel like if that's where you go, it says more about you than that other person.
It does. And I'm saying you're a mother.
It says more about your character, your views, how you feel about black people, not just this person that you arguing about. It just really shows me what you really feel. Like I hate when you start arguing with somebody and how they really feel start coming out. Especially when it's supposed to be like a friend or something like that. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh. And you can't come back and be like, oh, I was just mad. No, because you were saying how you really felt in that moment. You just used your anger as an opportunity.
It was the vehicle.
To say some off the wall stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And I mean, do I think Love and Hip Hop is genuine in them firing her and really actually care? No. But I'm also not against and really can care less when people have repercussions for their actions, because regardless if you feel like you was justified or not, that don't make you free of consequences and backlash and people having something to say about it and possibly losing an opportunity. She also lost another opportunity on the All Black network of a show that she was on.
Well, because
I don't feel bad for you.
The people that you diss the people that are supporting you.
You hear what I said? She lost the opportunity on All Black.
Yeah, like there would be no Love and Hip Hop if it wasn't black people.
So let's just be all the way 100.
So
I don't feel bad for her.
You're biting the hand that feeds you. And you're trying to, I mean, again, from my perspective, you're trying to look like a black woman. To me. To me. Y'all can say what y'all want.
And one thing that I think needs to be said is having children by a black man does not mean a woman is not anti-black. It does not mean that at all, because they very much still can and do be a lot of the time. Well, and we're seeing it.
And we're saying this because a lot of other anti-black clips have popped and resurfaced.
And a lot of people from biracial, if you go on TikTok, search it. And a lot of people telling their stories of how they grew up in anti-blackness, even though they are black, but they had a parent, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't.
Right.
Or, you know, family members.
Right.
You know, that their family members that weren't black, they grew up in anti-blackness.
Right.
Like one of the girls I just seen recently said, she commented on one of these posts of her mom saying, black people are nice, but, and then, you know, went on and added some more on. And she like, in my head, I'm sitting there thinking like, Mom, I'm black.
Right.
But they don't see their kids as black. Let's just talk about that.
And when y'all kill me for the can't be what was it? Can't date outside your race and be pro-black and all those other conversations that we had. But this is why, is because, and honestly, even as black people too, black people do it too, but we see it more prevalent in some of these interracial relationships. Mm-hmm. It is hard for you to affirm your child in their black identity when you have undertone racist sentiments. Mm-hmm. And you can see that the undertone racist sentiments come out here. That it's when I feel mad, I'm going to hit you below the belt where it's going to hurt the most. Yeah. Or those feelings of that comes out like, you dirty, you a monkey, you a black African booty snap, whatever. Mm-hmm. All them things that we've all heard our whole entire lives. So, and you see that it came out here. But again, it's Erica Mena though. Yeah. Like this is the same girl that was like crying because she didn't get the amount of child support that she wanted from Safari during the whole hearing. So it's like, I'm not surprised. Like, I think maybe that's where I'm coming from. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because this is who she's shown herself to be. Yeah. That she's just not a good individual. She's just shady. See, and I think people felt bad for her in the whole Safari little storyline. Because, you the single mother. You trying to do everything right, and he dogging you, and he left you. So people started feeling bad for her, and I think they forgot who she is. They forgot because they felt bad for her, because there's a lot of women that are in that situation where they have a child and then they find out who the father of the child is after the child comes, and they have to basically raise the child on their own. Am I wrong or no?
No, you're not wrong. I just want to say something, but I don't want to say
it.
I feel like a lot of times with girls like her, they feel like that they are, as much as you say they try to be like black women, they feel like they're better than black women.
No, for sure.
And they think that they're going to get in these situations and these men are going to treat them.
And the outcomes are going to be better.
Hello? Mm-hmm. And when it ain't, they sitting up crying and wanting the sympathy. And I'm just looking like, oh no, baby, you thought you was the one. Because, that what was that? He wanted a yellow bone, all of that. And they get in these situations. It's like, man.
Baby, same situation. Well, not the same, but similar. Yeah, you still are a single mother.
Like, you thought they be feeling like they better and the man gonna treat them. Because again, the way that he courted her and all of this and hyped her, and because they be doing that. They do be doing that. They be hyping them. And we've seen that on TikTok of women coming out about how black men will approach them when, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you got the same thing that all the other women got.
You sure did. Sorry for you, ma'am.
If you don't think that's what they after, that's what they after. The same thing. Same thing. All the you ain't special.
But they be thinking he is.
You got a box, she got a box. Y'all got boxes.
She got humbled in the worst way, and unfortunately to me,
then she thought she was going to get the bag in the process,
and then didn't even get no bag.
And didn't get the bag. So
do he even got a bag?
No.
That ain't even like, what was you expecting from Nicki Minaj ex-boyfriend? That was literally it irritated me when it was like when he was being introduced as like a entrepreneur and personality. Like, you was Nicki Minaj boyfriend, bruh, for like a decade. Nobody knew nothing about you other than that. Like, that literally is what put you on the scene.
If you're getting introduced as a TV personality and an entrepreneur, that means you're broke. This nigga was pop locking when Nicki Minaj was dancing on stage. Come on, dog.
Like, you thought this was who you was getting the bag from?
Come on, man. We all know that he be fronting and he be putting on an act, man.
He reminds me of them shady characters that be in your DMs.
Yes.
Trying to scam you. That's who that's a vibe he gives.
Yes. He gives you scammer vibes for sure. He really does. He does.
I can't.
Yeah, he holding on to his little 15 minutes.
Absolutely. And I feel like it's the Love and Hip Hop franchise. It's very much you know, I'm on this season and then I'm gonna date somebody from that season and then I'm gonna go over here. I'm dating somebody on LA cast. I'm on the LA. It's just all ratchet weirdness.
Yeah.
We know that. So
yeah.
I don't expect much.
And from that franchise, I expect less. I am anticipating she will be back on the show. I wouldn't be surprised if she's back for the reunion.
Oh yeah.
They're all about views. They don't care. And they know, and you know what? And I'm sure that this is all strategic, and they know that now because this happened, it gives people more incentive to go watch.
To watch the reunion.
Which is why in the apology they said, oh, it'll play out in the next 3 episodes. Like,
that was so trash.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch it now. Nah. Y'all losing viewers. That's what it is.
Gotta be.
That's what it is.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was a heavy watcher. Loving Hip Hop, Atlanta, the beginning seasons with Jocelyn and Stevie J.
That was it was. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you.
Come on,
it was good TV. I ain't gonna lie.
It was good TV back then.
The one in New York with Peter Guns and all that.
Yeah,
that was good TV. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But yeah, I had to stop. It was too much.
Yeah, I grew out of it. I ain't gonna lie, I grew out of it. I don't really watch much reality TV anymore.
It's basically just soap opera. That's what it is.
I don't watch Housewives. I used to watch Housewives of Atlanta, like all of the franchises. I don't watch none of that no more for the most part. I talk about it or know about what's going on because of the pod.
Because of the pod. And because of social media. But, but reality TV, I used to be my shit. I ain't gonna lie.
I liked it back when it was
Flavor Love,
first on the scene.
Real World, Road Rules,
Real World,
College Hill. What other shows did I used to watch? I think that was the majority of them.
Real World for me.
There was another black show that was like a reality show. That
Real
I used to
World
watch.
Chicago. That was my season.
Black Ink. I watched the first couple
Black
seasons
Ink
of Black
Crew.
Ink. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
But I'm like, it's just not the same. And not to say that it wasn't scripted back then, but it was just a little bit more.
Real World seemed a little bit more believable.
Yeah, I would give that one.
Real World seemed a little bit more believable.
Bring back Real World.
I was gonna say, why did they not bring back Real World? That would do good.
Especially,
Road Rules was good too, though.
Because I feel like with our
bring it back.
We just was talking about how we like nostalgia. We will watch.
Bring back Real World for sure. Especially with like this day and age, like have a Trump supporter with like a black dude. Oh yeah.
You know what irritated me was that they brought back College Hill but made it the celebrities going to school.
That was lame. Yeah, I don't like
I'm like, bring back the real College Hill. Cause College Hill, the Virgin Islands, that one went crazy. I don't College Hill, Miami. Bring back the real College Hill. That y'all could have kept with all of this Nene and all of them in class. Yeah. I ain't like that.
No.
That's not how we want it back.
Gotta stop. I don't like that shit. Like that for sure, bro.
Ain't like that at all.
I don't like that shit.
All right. Well, speaking of colorism, we gonna get into the relationship advice.
Oh yeah, relationship advice. I don't even, what is these other drops that we got in here? Hold on. I gotta use that more. All right, let's go.
All right, so today's relationship advice. My girlfriend's dad discouraged me from proposing because their family isn't thrilled about us having dark babies. Backstory. Me and my girlfriend are an interracial couple, with her being Korean and me being black. We have dated for just under 5 years now. And
hold on. So Korean girl, black male.
Black man.
Okay, got it.
And for the past few months.
5 years?
5 years.
Okay.
And for the past few months, I've been planning on proposing. I'm pretty traditional, so I thought it would be a good idea to ask her dad for his blessing before I proposed. I asked earlier this month. When I arrived at their house, I was greeted by her mother and father, who invited me in. After a little talking, I told them that I was going to propose and wanted their blessing. Her mother was ecstatic and her father didn't seem displeased, and he told me it was okay for me to propose. We talked more and the topic of babies was brought up by her mother. I told her that I wanted to have kids with her and she got even happier. We continued talking. When I told them I needed to start heading home, her mother said she would send me home with some food and left for the kitchen. Me and her dad have a small language barrier between us that usually is alleviated by either my girlfriend or her mother. So we kind of just sat there in silence. He then told me this: I'll clean it up, but it was difficult to understand as he isn't great at English. You are a very nice young man and we like you a lot. We'd be happy to have you in our family, but we are not too happy about you and her having dark babies. I was stunned and kind of just awkwardly laughed. We sat there for another 2 minutes before her mom came out with the wrap plate. When I got home, I said nothing about this to my girlfriend. I know I need to talk to her about what was said, but I don't want to be the one that accuses her father of being racist. And I know this is probably irrational, but the way her father said it put the thought in my head that she may not want kids because of how dark I am. How do I approach her about this in the least accusatory way as possible?
Accusatory? Okay, I'm gonna let you answer this first.
First of all, it absolutely needs to be addressed. And I don't think there's any other way to address it other than saying what he said. Like, say what he said.
How is it accusatory? I don't understand.
How is that accusatory? Like, your dad said this.
Yeah.
And I would want to know her views on it.
Yep.
Because that's what's you're gonna be in the relationship with her. But on the other end of the spectrum, if y'all have kids, the grandparents are going to be involved. So I think this is just something that you deal with being in an interracial relationship. Of you're probably going to have to deal with anti-blackness from the non-black family members, and you're going to have to try and balance that out somehow. That's not something I would want to do personally. Because I don't know. I don't know if, for me, it's like when you marry somebody, you marry into their family too.
You are.
And that's big for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not saying that I would just totally X a person out for that, for their family or their family structure, but it's big in consideration.
Yeah. To me, this is simple, man. I don't understand. It's not accusatory. It's what happened.
Exactly.
Like, you're making it seem like it doesn't have to be like, hey, I think your dad is racist. No. Hey, like, when you were out the room, me and your dad had a conversation, and he said that he did not want to have dark children as his grandchildren. So, for one, have you heard of this? And for two, you can flip it and say, I don't want to assume that it's a racist comment. So can you give me some clarification on what your dad may have meant by that? That's all you got to do. Because it's not, sometimes it's not racism. Sometimes it's colorism. Because in some cultures, the darker you are, which actually, I don't even say in some cultures, in most cultures.
Pretty much all of them.
The darker you are, the lower you are on the social economic totem pole. Right? So, like, I had a friend that was Indian, or from India, excuse me. I don't want to say Indian, but from India. And he told me, he said when they would drive around, as hot as it is in India, they would wear hoodies because they would have their elbow out of the car, and they did not want their skin to get darker. Because the darker your skin was, then those kids usually lived in the slums. The lighter you are, you're in closer proximity to whiteness. So they equate the lighter your skin is to the more successful you'll be in life. And in Korea, it's the same way.
It's the same way. Pretty much everywhere has colorism.
Right. But and what's interesting is Koreans love black culture. Koreans are really good at fried chicken because of I want to say it's the Vietnam War or some war where blacks went over there and showed them how to do chicken, right? And if I'm getting the war wrong, please forgive me. But we have shown them a lot of our culture. K-pop, breakdancing, a lot of hip-hop elements they have taken on. So they love our culture. But
everybody do.
Everybody does.
Let's just keep it.
So
I said it on the last episode. Like, people's anti-blackness comes from where everybody is not across the board. Like, nobody's immune to anti-blackness.
Correct. So I think sometimes we need to come from a place of understanding. And I think to not be accusatory, just say, hey, I want to understand where your dad is coming from. Like, is there a cultural difference? Is there a cultural background? Is there something that will help me understand why it is that he doesn't want dark children? because again, it could be more just tied to the culture and how they view their societies, but it could very well be rooted in racism.
Because does he not want dark children, or he just don't want them to look black?
Yeah, and you have to deep dive, and for them to be together for 5 years, and this is the first time this has come up, is kind of scary to me. Like, I think those conversations when you're in an interracial relationship, and if you do get to a serious standpoint, I think you do have to start asking some of these questions, like, you know, what are your parents or what are your family's views on me, like on black people in general? Now, does that mean that that's going to be the say all be all on whether I stay with you or not? Maybe not necessarily, but just like you said, you are marrying into a family. Mm-hmm. I need to know, am I going to be accepted the same way that my family may accept you? Because black people are very accepting.
Or my children will be accepted.
Are my children going to be accepted? And
or are they going to be othered?
Yeah. So those are some things before you put 5 years into a relationship. I think those are some things you may have, wanted to bring up earlier. But I mean, I'm glad it's coming up now. But prior to them getting married and before he proposed, but I don't think that. I think sometimes in the search of truth, it may be offensive. It may come across as accusatory, but I just think as long as you communicate that I'm not trying to be accusatory, I don't see how it'll come across as being accusatory. Because again, it happened. It's not like, oh, I think your dad is racist because he looked at me a certain way. No, your dad said something that rubbed me the wrong way. Can you give me some clarification on what it is that he meant by that? Mm-hmm. And do you feel that way? Because that's the more important thing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you would have an issue with having darker children? Because
I mean, he even asked that. He said that he was worried that she felt the same way.
And to me, that's kind of like, that's so psychologically like damaging, because it's like, if I'm dark and you're saying you don't want dark children, then what do you think about me?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you said it. He said it in that.
I'm talking about the girlfriend. If she don't want dark children, then what do you think about me?
Yep.
And that's what I'm be saying. I'm not against interracial relationships. I personally couldn't do it. Mm-mm. There's just too. I want to say I personally couldn't do it. I prefer black women. Because a lot of these questions and issues, I typically do not have to deal with if I'm dating somebody that understands culturally where I come from, my values, some of the verbiage and the African American vernacular. I don't have to explain these things. There's already an understanding. We're on the same level, and we see the world very much similarly as far as when it comes to coming from our culture. Mm-hmm. Now, in this situation, it's just. That would be a very, that would keep me up at night. Like I would want to ask that question as soon as I got home. It wouldn't be no quiet ride home. No, it would have been like, yo, dad said something to me, like, and I want to.
Well, she wasn't there.
Oh, she wasn't there?
No, because this was him going.
Oh, he went to go ask for the proposal.
He went to ask. So again, when he got home, he didn't know what to say, and I'm just kind of like, and to me.
See, but I thought it said that she was happy because he asked about children. That was the mom.
The mom.
Oh, that was the mom. Okay.
So that's what I'm saying.
See, and you know what? But at the same time, I would think her daughter knows her father. Because I know my mom used to tell me all the time, if she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. So it wasn't like I knew where my mom stood on that.
I never got that talk. And I feel like, but a lot of boys, my husband has said the same thing. Like a lot of boys, that was really drilled into them by their mama.
From day one.
My mom let me go through my little NSYNC phase, and where I had all the white boys on my wall and stuff. And she just kind of,
I think it's different for black women though.
I think so?
Men, we have more variety of a choice. There's like 10 women to one man, something like that, something crazy.
I don't know. I think she just kind of let it play out. Like she didn't necessarily give me parameters on, you know what I mean?
No, right. I'm just saying, I think when we're talking about black women and black men, black men have the luxury of choosing to be with a black woman.
I guess.
Black women don't really have much, you know what I mean? As far as, when I'm saying as far as choosing goes. If there's one man to 8 women.
But I don't think that's why.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, but I think it's that's not the main reason why. But I think that plays a part into it because you see that because black men have more choices. And for the most part, black men do marry black women as far as the percentages go. But as far as marrying out, that we do see that obviously black men marry out at a higher proportion than black women do.
I could believe that. I don't know the statistics, but I believe it.
They do. Black men. I mean, it's again, 80. I think it's 80% of black men are married to black women, so that leaves 20%. And I think like the percentage of black women marrying out, I think it's like I want to say it's like less than 10%. So it's black men do it more, and I think that we see that, right? Okay, and there is some pressures, like when you see a black man with the black woman, or black man with the white woman, or black man with the Asian woman. You know, sometimes they be out in public, and I see it because when I see it, I'm like, oh man.
I hate that. The only thing that I hate.
Because I be seeing black women looking.
No, we don't.
No, they do.
They be looking at me. I don't know what it is. It's like you'll just be sitting there and you'll look over and they looking at you like, bro, I'm not concerned. Like, what is you looking at?
Maybe not you. It's the guilt, I'm telling you. But black women do be looking though.
Oh,
black women do be looking. I'm trying to tell you. Because my mom be doing it.
I do.
My mom be doing it. But no, you're right. That's not the main reason. I be
like, boo, like, bro, I'm not concerned about you.
I think there's a lot of trauma that comes with that. And I think if we want to be honest, I think the main reason, because back in the day it could have got you killed.
I think honestly too, like you said, it is ingrained in men from their mother. Don't bring no white girl home, or don't bring no, if you can't use your comb, don't bring her home. So I feel like automatically they have that in their head when they're,
it's guilt. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So like they feel like all black women feel like that or have a problem with it because their own mama had a problem with it.
It is guilty. But like I said, I think, if you just think about Emmett Till, right? Even, looking at a white woman could have gotten you killed. So I think it's kind of like that, trauma from slavery. Like, don't do this because it could equate to you. And
I don't think they're thinking about that, but the parents passed it down. Like, I feel like it's been passed down to us.
That's what I'm saying. It came down the line, and we see it today where we see like with old boy that got killed. What's his name? Was he like a TikToker, like a YouTuber?
And she killed him.
Yeah, we just that whole Get Out kind of thought process that we got, that we know that in some circumstances, I'm not saying all, because at the end of the day, we're all human. And at the end of the day, there's one race, and that's a human race. But there is ethnic differences and things of that nature. So we have seen stories where white women objectify black men and, put us in situations that are very compromising and don't really look at us like how our own women would typically value us or care for us, right? Don't put us in situations where they're quick to call the police or quick to do things of that nature, knowing that there are ramifications that will follow that. If you call the police, you are, I'm not saying that you are, but we take it almost like it's a death sentence, that it could be a death sentence. Because if a cop show up, white woman, black man, you already know where they're going to lean to.
And a lot of times they weaponize it, whereas like you'll have black women in a situation where they should call the police
and they don't,
but won't because of,
Absolutely.
I mean, not even just, it could get both of us killed.
Yeah.
You never know. You know what I'm saying? So black women are in a position where they probably should be calling police. White women just calling the police because, again, they know that that's a weapon for them.
It's a weapon for them. Absolutely. Yep. And that's not to say all white women, right? There are some white women that are in a relationship and they love their man just as much as anybody would. Because again, at the end of the day, we all are human.
Yes.
But we cannot deny that there are cultural differences, and there is a lot of misunderstanding. So. Yeah, in my home, and I'm not ashamed to say it. My mom, she engraved it for me from day one. If she cannot use your comb, do not bring her home. I remember that to this day. Like, it is engraved in my head. It is engraved in my head.
I honestly, like I said, my husband said the exact same thing.
And I'm gonna lie. Like, when I was younger, like even if I talked to somebody outside of my race, I did feel guilty.
And he said the exact. I was just about to say he said the same thing. He was like, I dated, He was like, I think he said he brought like home like a Mexican girl or something like that, and he was like, it just didn't feel right. He was like,
I never brought anybody home that was outside of.
He was like, yeah, nah. I was like, dang, that's. I mean, I won't say we'll know that is terrible. Like, I feel like again, I just feel like it's because if she was a good person, like, you know what I'm saying. But I'm just like, dang, like.
It's just, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm even thinking about it. Like, it was even to the point, like, if I dated you outside of my race, like, I felt guilty going out in public. I really did.
That's crazy.
It was Netflix and chill, and that was it.
I didn't feel, well, you know what? Honestly, I'm going to be all the way honest. I've only been on 2 dates outside of my race. And that was it. I mean, other than like, elementary school, all that kind of stuff.
I'm talking like, about as an adult.
Right. As a after high school adult. Yeah, no.
Yeah. There was one girl that I dated that I was comfortable with, but I for sure wasn't bringing her home.
But I'm gonna be real. When I went out, I didn't feel no kind of way on them dates.
One of them, I felt like I said, but we were in San Francisco, so you know how San Francisco is, Bay Area. It's like it's normal.
I didn't feel no kind of way on those dates.
Nah, man.
And because I feel like it was the beginning of me dating. It was like young, like fresh 18, 19. So it was like, I didn't really care. I was just going on like, oh, he gonna take me to Fridays. Like,
you know what? Now,
I didn't give a damn.
I think there's a difference too when you're dating like a Latina or when you're dating white. White, I felt more guilt. Latina, I'm like, well, at least you still a minority, you know what I mean? Like you Puerto Rican, you Mexican, you know what I mean? It's like you still in the like you a cousin of the family, you know what I'm saying? Like
I'm weak.
You in the same boat as me. But the white, I was like, we can stay at the house.
For me, one was Mexican and the other one was like Afghani.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care.
Yeah, I think for men it's a little bit different, man. Look, hey, comment in the comments if your mama told you don't bring her home if she can't use your comb, man. Comment in the comments, man. I need to see if my childhood was just like that, man.
And I want to know from the women if they were told anything like that as far as like being encouraged not to date outside of their race.
I tell my daughter that. I ain't gonna lie.
You do? I was gonna ask you.
I for sure do. I say the same thing. The same thing my mama told me, same thing I tell her.
Not you passing it down too. I'm weak.
First thing when she talk about a boy, I say, so is he black? What is he? I'll be trying to guess by the name because I don't want to be racist, you know what I'm saying? And it'll be hella like neutral name like Brandon. I'm like, whoa, is he? What is he?
I'm weak.
What is he like listening to? Like,
you trying to get some clues.
I try to get the context clues. If I'm like, look, hey, is he black or what? What's going on?
Hey, I don't.
But on the real though, but she did tell me though, she was like, Dad, I like black boys, but black boys aren't really into black girls in my school. I was like, damn, what is wrong with y'all niggas?
And you know
Hold
what's
on.
crazy?
What's wrong with y'all niggas?
Black women been saying it for so long. I can't believe it ain't changed.
Nah, it ain't.
Even in the new climate of, black pride and everything, like, damn.
Nope, not with this generation. Nope.
And I can identify with that because I especially being dark skinned, like,
well, and
being dark skinned, like, just started coming in style.
And we in California, we don't have the black historic colleges and the heritage like that. We don't have that out here. You have to go down south for that.
Mm-hmm. And that's when it really changed my perspective of leaving California, moving to Houston. That's when you start seeing like black people, like more community of blackness.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like everybody's going we all walk to the black church on Sunday.
Yeah.
And we're all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We dating each other. Like we have our own.
Yeah.
Kind of culture, community down there. It's just completely different than where here you have that whole, it's a melting pot mentality.
All over, yeah.
Everybody with everybody type.
We are very unique when it comes to that. So that's why, like, if you have the opportunity, like, because my family, my mom's side is from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, and my dad's side is from Virginia, DMV area. So I know what that looks like because I've seen it. I've seen like going to Chocolate City, like black people everywhere.
Yep.
Going to Fort Worth, Texas, black people everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? To the point where like your reputation was based on your last name. Like they knew you based on like, oh, like who you dating? Oh, such and such. What's your last name? Johnson. Oh no, the Johnsons is all bad. Like that's how it was. And out here, it is nothing like that. It is nothing like that in California. So maybe in some small knit communities, but for the most part,
Yeah.
So for me, since I'm a little bit on the conservative side when it comes to religion, I kind of want that.
Okay.
Instead of like the open, you don't talk to your neighbor, like kind of separate individualism. Like I kind of want a community where it's majority black people. You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna lie. When I first moved down there, it was a culture shock for me. Just initially, like I'll be walking the campus to go do something, and every 2 steps somebody's speaking like they know you, and I'm like,
right,
confused because I'm like, where I come from, you could be dying on the street and people gonna keep on walking.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So it was just kind of like crazy. Like I'm like, dang, do I know them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what's going on? But that's just,
it's a good feeling.
Southern hospitality is just,
it's a good feeling.
Different.
Yeah.
Very
it makes you feel more connected. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not to diss California. I mean, there's some great things about California, but as far as like the Southern hospitality, oh man, yeah.
Because baby, that was the reason I came back.
Ain't no hurricanes. Yeah.
As soon as Hurricane Ike hit, as soon as that airport opened back up, I was like, bye y'all.
Yeah.
Let me go back to the covert racism. I can't do this. I'm sorry. And it's crazy because they'll be like, I don't know how you live in California with them earthquakes. Ain't no earthquakes like that. Y'all have hurricane season. Ain't no earthquake season.
No.
Y'all know this shit is coming every day. Like, well, how do they sell houses on the fault line? How do they sell houses on stilts? Because the houses will be up on stilts because they know at high tide their house will wash away. What?
San Francisco is 2 hours away from here, y'all.
It's like y'all are.
Nah, but that is a thing because, like, well, for one, they've been talking about San Andreas since I've been in like 3rd grade. Like,
come on,
that ain't happening. Secondly, like people that are not from California, they be like, "Oh man, how often do you go to LA?" I'm like, do you know that LA is like 6 hours away from here? The same way, like, again, and I think from California, like, I think it's just if you're not from there, you don't know. Like, I think a lot of people think like Dallas is like close to Houston.
Oh, no.
It's not.
That's like what, 3-4 hours?
Yeah, it ain't no down the street ride. Like, same thing with us. Like, LA is not close to that, or LA is not close to Sacramento. Sacramento is not the Bay Area. Like, there's just things that if you don't live here, you don't know.
You can drive for hours and still be in Texas. Like, going to like El Paso, it's like 10 hours.
It's a huge state, yeah.
Like, and you're still in Texas, baby.
It's a huge state. So I think, you know, for those that are not in California, Sacramento's not the Bay. LA is not close to us. And not all of our houses on stilts. And I felt like aftershocks. I've lived here since I was 5 in different cities, but I've never felt an earthquake.
The last biggest earthquake was back when I was born. It was 1988.
Yeah, that was
where like the bridges collapsed and all that. It is 2023, baby.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And they be like, the big one coming. The big one ain't came yet.
It ain't. Yeah, I've been hearing about that since I was like 5th grade. Oh no, like 3rd grade.
Remember
grade.
we used to do those earthquake drills? You got to get under the table, put your hands on your neck.
I'm thinking to myself, this ain't gonna save me from no damn earthquake.
What is my hands being wrapped around the back of my neck finna do?
And what this little flimsy desk gonna do? Nothing. Talking about it's gonna be the biggest earthquake ever, and you gonna have me sitting underneath a desk.
I can't.
Oh man. The only thing I complain about California is just the cost of living. That's it.
That's it. But you pay to play, baby.
Well, and then you get paid to live here. So it's like, I don't know, man. And it's funny because a lot of the people, and I was reading an article, and then we gonna wrap this up. A lot of the people that moved from California to Austin, they did a survey and they said that they were not satisfied and they're moving back.
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it too. Because I think what people don't realize is when you leave California and you're going to a place like Austin where everybody else is moving, all y'all moving to Austin is going to raise the price of cost of living in Austin.
Mm-hmm. That's why you see people say, oh, Arizona, Phoenix closed, Houston, because they don't want you. It's the same migration from the Bay Area to Sacramento that did what? Drove the prices up.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's like people don't want us in that city anyway. Mm-mm. But at the same time, I get it. But a lot of people are thinking the money they make here and what it costs to live there.
Yeah, no.
You're not going to make as much money there.
Your cost of living is going to get adjusted.
When you move there, you're not going to be making $150,000 a year.
No.
And then go there and make the same for the same job. It's going to be less because cost of living is less.
It's going to be less. Like I think in Georgia, like the minimum wage is like $7, something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah. So if you move out there, cost of living is less, but you're making less. Mm-hmm. You don't get to keep your salary and get to kick. No.
That's why I'm like, if I can make California money and move somewhere else, absolutely.
Now, I know the working from home thing changed things a little bit, but no, I don't think they're going to let you move states and do that. You know what I'm saying?
Even at my job, like they have in the job description, yes, you have the option to work from home, but you have to live in the city.
Yeah.
Not even just the state.
Now, if you're going to, so the way I'm looking at it is like when I retire, I'm out.
I believe
because then I can take California money and then I can live somewhere else for cheaper and then I can make it stretch. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people go to Arizona because I guess it's like no taxes or less taxes or something. I don't know.
I know Nevada is no taxes.
Something like that.
Arizona, I think, is just cheaper. It's because it's damn hot. It's hot and people don't want to live there. Yeah, Georgia's minimum wage is $7.25.
And what's ours?
Our minimum wage is like $15.
Ain't it like $15?
15 something.
I think it's $15.50.
California minimum wage. I think that sounds about right. $15.50, $15.75, something like that. Yeah. Yep. Our minimum wage is $15.50.
Well,
so double.
And that ain't close to enough.
More than double, actually. Hell no. $15.50? What? No. No. Hell nah. Because what you going for with $15.50?
I remember I was like, I'm finna be making $24 an hour.
24 looking real tennis right now.
Ain't it?
Damn, man.
You be like, dang.
$15.50 times 40 times 52. That's $32,000 a year. What you gonna do with $32,000?
Get a roommate. Roommates with an S.
I'll move back in with your parents?
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, that was a good relationship advice.
Mm-hmm. Good episode.
We not racist.
We not. We support interracial relationships. We support, even if we not in them.
We support love. We support all because there's I say it again. We are all one race, and that's the human race. Race is a social construct that it was created. So I for me, I prefer black women. That's my preference.
I'm with it.
All right. So we want to thank y'all, man. Great show. For y'all that be complaining about 2-hour podcast, this was an hour and 30 minutes. So we made time. We want to thank y'all. Please consider supporting the podcast by either subscribing or giving us a donation. And we appreciate it, all that y'all do. And once again, I'm going to quote this, man. We're gonna end on some positive quotes, man.
Okay.
The proverb in the Bible said, based on what Envy said, man, friends are born in the time of adversity. So you can tell if you got a real friend by when you're going through something, if they are compassionate and they are walking through it with you.
Absolutely.
So hold on to your real friends and give them their flowers while you're still here, man. Because I'm telling you, if you got 1 or 2 friends, man, that's golden.
Absolutely.
That's golden. So, all right. Well, we out, man. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all for episode number 62.
We out.